Hello dear students, welcome to online biology bridge course class. It is connecting link between SSLC and first PUC. In this video I am discussing about the one more connecting part in the study of biology chapters in 11th PUC. It is about study of venation. What is venation? How many types are there in the venation, and what is the help of studying about venation? So moving to the definition of venation. The venation states that, or definition states that, arrangement of veins and veinlets on the lamina of a leaf is called venation. Then question is, what is that leaf lamina? It is expanded green part of the leaf, and leaves are attached to the nodal region of the stem. The arrangement of leaves on the stem is called phyllotaxy, and expanded green portion of the leaf is called leaf lamina. How exactly the veins and veinlets are arranged on leaf lamina, it is called venation. The venation is nothing but it explains or it gives information about the arrangement of veins and veinlets on the leaf lamina. Then moving to the types of venation. Based on arrangement of veins and veinlets, the venation is classified into two types: reticulate venation and parallel venation. And this classification is purely based on arrangement of veins and veinlets. How exactly the veins and veinlets are arranged on the leaf lamina. The types are reticulate venation and another is parallel venation. And here is the image: leaf with reticulate venation and leaf with parallel venation. So venation purely explains about arrangement of veins and veinlets on the leaf lamina. How many types are there in the venation? There are two types. One is reticulate venation and another is parallel venation. Then moving to these two types of venation. Reticulate venation. Reticulate means network. What is that network? The network is produced by the arrangement of veins and veinlets on the leaf lamina. So let us move to the detailed study of the reticulate venation and where it is found. This type of venation, in this type of venation, the leaf contain a prominent midrib. Midrib is the central thick part of the leaf containing larger phloem and xylem. As compared to other parts of the leaf, not larger as much as found in the stem, but compared to other parts of the midrib or other parts of the leaf, the midrib contains little bit larger vascular bundle having xylem and phloem. The prominent midrib is present, and from the midrib several secondary veins arise, and these veins branch and anastomes like a network. This type of venation is common in all the dicot leaves. So midrib is present as a prominent structure in the center. From the midrib, the secondary veins are arising, and from the secondary veins, the small veinlets are arising. They are forming a network-like structure. That type of the venation is called reticulate venation. And reticulate venation is the character of all the dicot leaves. So let us have a look on image of reticulate venation, how it appears on the from the lower side and how it appears from the dorsal side or upper side. So in a dicot, the leaves contain two surfaces. What is a dicot? The dicot is a seed and the seed contains two equal parts. The plant producing dicot seeds are called dicotyledons. The seeds with two cotyledons are nothing but dicots. So reticulate venation, compulsorily you need to remember this one. Reticulate venation is the character of all the dicot leaves. Dicot leaves are characterized by the two distinct surfaces. Upper surface of the leaf is dark green in color and this surface is called dorsal surface. The upper surface of the leaf is dark green in color and this is called the dorsal surface. Lower surface is little bit lighter green in color. You can also have a look because easily you can get a dicot leaf. Rose leaf is a dicot leaf, hibiscus leaf is a dicot leaf, betel leaf which is regularly consumed by the man, that is also a dicot leaf. It is lighter green in color as compared to the upper surface, and this surface is called ventral surface. So dorsal surface means upper surface and ventral surface means lower surface. So both the surfaces can be easily identified on the basis of color, especially in case of dicot. If the surface color is a dark green, it is dorsal surface. If the surface color is lighter green, it is ventral surface. Therefore, dicot leaves are called dorso-ventrally flattened or dorso-ventrally differentiated leaves. The dicot leaves are called dorso-ventrally differentiated. What is its meaning? Dorso-ventrally differentiated means upper and lower surfaces of the leaf are easily identified on the basis of color. If the surface is dark green in color, it is nothing but dorsal surface. If the surface is light green in color, nothing but ventral surface. So all the dicots have the dorso-ventrally differentiated leaves. Then moving to the veins and veinlets. One more point I need to highlight here. This green expanded portion of the leaf. Here you can see the complete expanded portion of the leaf. This is called leaf apex or tip. The boundary is called leaf margin. This is leaf base and stalk of the leaf is called petiole, and in the center of the leaf here you can see a thick prominent structure. This middle structure which is thicker in its size, and this thicker line represents midrib. From the midrib on either side the small branches are produced and these branches are called veins. The veins further branch to form minute structures and the branches of the veins are called veinlets. The branches of the veins are called veinlets, and here you can see how these veins and veinlets have produced a network like structure similar to the small net having smaller holes. This network-like structure is produced due to the arrangement of veins and veinlets in the leaf lamina. If the network is produced, the kind of venation is called reticulate venation, because meaning of the reticulate is nothing but network. When veins and veinlets are arranged in the form of a network in the leaf lamina, the type of the venation is called reticulate venation. In the laboratory, when you are doing the experiments or while doing the experiments in the laboratory, if the leaf is only given to identify whether it is belonging to monocot or it is belonging to dicot, on the basis of the venation itself, you can identify whether the leaf is a dicot or the leaf is monocot. If the network-like structure is observed or present on the leaf lamina, no doubt it is reticulate venation, and reticulate venation is character of only the dicot leaves. Then opposite to this one more type of the venation, it is parallel venation, and parallel venation is the character of monocot leaves. Again the same term, but it is parallel venation. Hope you are getting the point. What is parallel venation? Here you can see the complete leaf. This is midrib in the center, but veins are arranged parallel to the midrib instead of producing the network. In case of dicot leaf, they have produced the network. They are arranged in the form of network, but in parallel venation, the midrib is also present and veins are also present. The lines you can see here, all these lines are representing the veins, but veins are arranged parallel to the midrib. This kind of venation is called parallel venation, and this is a characteristic feature of monocot leaves. Then what is the difference between the dicot leaf and monocot leaf in other structure? So just I explained, in dicot leaf, dorsal surface is dark green in color and ventral surface is light green in color. That kind of differentiation is not present in the monocot leaf. If this is the monocot leaf, here in the center I will mark this as midrib, and veins are running parallel to the midrib. They do not produce the network. That is why the kind of venation or the type of the venation is called parallel venation. Then one more point, in monocot leaves, both dorsal and ventral surfaces of the leaves have same color. There is no difference in the color of dorsal surface and ventral surface. Therefore, monocot leaves are called isobilateral leaves. The monocot leaves are called isobilateral leaves, whereas dicot leaves are called dorsiventrally differentiated leaves. Because the dorsal and ventral surfaces are clearly identified, they are showing different colors. The dorsal surface is dark green in color and ventral surface is light green in color. But in case of monocot leaves, both the surfaces have same color. That kind of the leaf is called isobilateral leaf, and monocot leaves show parallel venation. The best example for the monocot leaves, grass. ಹುಲ್ಲು ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಭಾಳ ಆರಾಮಾಗಿ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಪ್ಯಾರಲಲ್ ವೆನೇಷನ್ ಇರೋದನ್ನು ನೀವು ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಇನ್ನೂ ಒಂದು ವೆರಿ ಕಾಮನ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಈಸ್ ಸ್ಪ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಆನಿಯನ್. ಅಂದರೆ ತೊಪ್ಪಲು ಉಳ್ಳಾಗಡ್ಡಿ ನಾವೇನು ಬಳಸ್ತೀವಿ ವೆಜಿಟೇಬಲ್ ಅಂತ, ಇವನ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ದ ಪ್ಯಾರಲಲ್ ವೆನೇಷನ್. All the monocot leaves show parallel venation and dicot leaves show reticulate venation. So this is about the definition of venation and about the types of venation. If you remember this thing, this particular part of the bridge course, it carries 3 marks in the first PU examination. Yesterday only I told in the video, it is part of morphology of the flowering plants. So again there you are going to study about the phyllotaxy, which I explained in the previous video, and there you are going to study about the venation. So both of them are 3 mark questions. Arrangement of veins and veinlets on the leaf lamina is called venation. How many types are there in the venation? There are 2 types, reticulate venation and parallel venation. Reticulate venation is the character of dicot leaves and parallel venation is the character of monocot leaves. In reticulate venation, the midrib is very prominent structure. The veins and veinlets produce network or reticulate structure on the leaf lamina. In case of parallel venation, the veins run parallel to the midrib, and this is the significant character of monocot leaves. Hope the explained part is clear for you. Thank you.